Oh
Hey
no.
everyone, Goodrows Adventures, and we back at it. Another podcast for you. We doing it. We got a good one today for you. Interviewing John Tucker. Maybe he may recognize this little song right here. Yeah. Right.
Oh shoot, that's funny. I remember that jam. I
That's right.
haven't heard that song in so long. That's so funny.
I figured I'd surprise you with that. Unfortunately, people, his camera is not working. Uh, it's down, but that's okay. I got mine up and going.
Yep, yep.
So, but yeah, John, you're a multi. I love this song of yours though. You sent this back like, oh my god, I can't remember years ago.
Yeah. It's funny you said it, like my. It's funny you brought it up though, because my son stopped over here the other day. It's just kind of a
Yeah,
surprise visit, and and he was like, "Dad, why come you stop rapping? You need to keep. You need to keep doing it."
yeah, that's a good.
All
Why?
my
What
sons
made you
liked my
stop?
stuff, so that was cool.
Yeah, what made you stop? You just get tired of it?
um, it takes a lot of like I feel like with the because I love writing. I always write. Like a lot of people don't know. Like I would study the dictionary since I was 14. I would. I still do. I have dictionary. I have vocabulary words on my wall right now. I'm looking at them. I've constantly been like that. I have notebooks, stacks of notebooks of just vocabulary words. I always had that fascination for words, and so I started when I was doing music. There was just a desire to do the music, but it wasn't a desire to like go make it in the industry or something.
Oh,
But I still do music for myself. I'll listen to beats and because I always look for beats because I'm always going to be working out, so I'm always going to have to look for beats and music to listen to. But I feel like it's just super time consuming when I start focusing on that, and then I'll like sacrifice my time for something else.
oh,
You
okay.
know what I mean? Yeah. So,
Yeah, I can imagine how long it would sit there and try to put in those words,
especially
make a good song and all that. Yeah.
yeah, especially if you just like a lot of different things, if you have like a lot of talents and stuff like that, you can't like give your attention to all of them.
Yeah.
You just really can't.
Right. Yeah.
So it's like, okay, which ones what do I want to focus on, or how do I collaborate them together?
Yeah. Hey, maybe I'll have to have you write a little intro song for the podcast one day, so that way that'll always be my permanent one. So I ain't always have to worry about copyright infringements.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, I've always loved music, so I always like will doodle and I'll start a song. I most likely won't finish it, but I'll
Oh, okay.
start it. If I
Right.
started investing in the time in doing it, I'd write out a song a lot quicker.
Oh, okay.
So
I can
yeah,
imagine
because
you
it's like
popping
out
in
of
your head at the
practice.
gym.
What's that?
I said I can imagine you probably get songs just popping in your head when you're at the gym.
I have a certain playlist that I listen to, and it's like trailer music.
Yeah.
And so it's all hyped up, it's all epic. In fact, when I write my book, when I'm writing my book, I listen to some of these epic beats and stuff like that, and
Yeah.
I'm listening to it and I'm getting pumped up while I'm writing it and getting into the character and stuff. So I do have beats go through my head that I want to put out myself, and there is something that I'm gonna buy to where like if you have a beat in your head, which I always have a beat in my head because I used to make beats, right? And so
Yeah.
like in this thing you just use your voice. You use your voice as the instrument and you turn that your voice into whatever instrument. Coolest thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that way I can make my own beat and then when I go to the gym, I'll pop that beat in if I was feeling it and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm running to this."
Right.
I'm running to this.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You ever find that song where you play it over and over and over?
Mm-hmm. No, I
You're
definitely
like,
do for sure.
that's the one. today.
And it gives you that energy. It's amazing how music does that. Music,
Yeah.
you said
Yes.
look, what's this book about?
Oh, you were. I couldn't hear you. You
A
were
book.
glitching.
You were just saying something about a book when you're doing these beats. What's the book about?
The book is called. It's gonna be called Alakar, and it's about a. It's a world that doesn't exist. I made up the world. And so I made up the creatures. I made up the land. I've divided it in different sections, and there's gonna be different bosses. There's a whole bunch of civilizations. There's clans. And I had to come up with the names for all these things and the environment. What's the environment like? What's the air feel like? What's it taste like? What's the water taste like? What color is the water? Does it snow in these places? Is snow white here? You know, there's just a lot of different things. And so it's about a savior. He's a savior, but he's also a destroyer. And so Alucard has these powers, they're his trauma. It's like his traumas that's in him. And it's like, when the Hulk gets triggered, it's kind of like that. He gets triggered, and at some point he gets into a trance, and this energy is wrapping around him. And at this point, everybody around him has to get away from him because these fire guardians are coming. All of a sudden, you'll just see 5 explosions come out of the ground all around him, and he's just caught in this trance, right? And
Okay.
so his energy's just like building up. He's no longer in the building. So next thing you know, the explosions come, and then a fire comes out of those explosions, and that's when the fire guardians are there. They're about to pop up. As soon as they pop up, they have these flaming swords from the lake of fire. And so if they touch anything with these swords, it disintegrates them, turns them straight into ash, just like Medusa turns someone to stone. So these flame guardians come out, and they're just aggressive. Their whole mission, like they're like a beehive. They're just trying to defend him at all costs, and everything is a threat. So they don't recognize that you have your friends with you, or your loved one, or someone that you are fond of. Like they don't care. They're just
Yeah.
there to destroy. So he doesn't. He fights with this because this power that he has is also, can kill the people that he loves. And so he doesn't want this ability. And so he struggles with this, and he struggles with trying to contain it.
Oh, okay.
So
It kind of sounds like a hike a little bit. Snow. What's the water taste like? Beehives.
yeah, like how do these so one of the things that I came up with is, which I think is cool, is it's called a language stone. Because I was thinking, so how, like, let's say you go and you're in these jungles and you come across a civilization, and let's say they're friendly and they want to communicate with you. You're gonna have time to like learn everything about them, right?
Yeah.
So I was thinking, in this big world, how do they communicate? And they have these stones that they have magic properties to it, and to where you can transfer languages from one person to the other. So you both put your hand on the stone, and you exchange languages. So now I speak Chinese, and and this person understands Russian. So
So, what
so
motivated you to do this book?
I had it in my mind, like, probably like the last 4 years, but I started on it 2 years ago,
Oh, okay.
and I started doing it like I like wrote 2 chapters, and I really liked the chapters. I was into it. But then as I was like reading it more, I was thinking to myself, man, I need to have some structure to this.
Sure.
I was like, I'm coming up with this world. I needed more structure. So I had to start designing things. And then one of the things I knew I needed was a map. I needed a map. So that was delaying me, because I knew I needed a map so I could oversee the world and say, okay, what's this land over here? Who's fighting over here? What's the resource over here that they're fighting over? or do they get along? And if they get along, what's their exchange? Stuff like that. So I just over time just started thinking about it recently more because I broke my clavicle at the falls. And so I couldn't do anything for a month anyway. So I was like, might as well focus on my book.
Right.
Then I
Exactly.
busted out 25 chapters and I made the map in like a month.
Oh wow, yeah, that's quite a few chapters in a month and a map. Wow, that's crazy. That's
Yeah, so my chapters are going to be like 3 to 5 pages long. They are 3 to 5 pages long. Maybe some of them are a little bit more than that, but I
okay.
wanted to keep it simple. I don't like big old chapters
Can't go
personally.
on forever, right?
Yeah, I don't
Especially
like
like
that. I like to have sections where I know I could stop at the end of the night or something.
yeah, exactly.
Be like, okay, I'm cool. I read this, and you feel accomplished after you read that chapter or whatever, or however many chapters you read. But if you're reading a big old long one, you got to stop somewhere and check that. I think I don't like that.
Yeah, bookmark it and like, okay, this is where I'm going to start off tomorrow or whatever. Yeah, for real.
Yeah. So I mean, I think about the reader a lot because I'm the reader and I'm the writer, so I'm along for the ride in my own story. I don't know what's gonna pop up. Sometimes it just comes to me as I'm writing it.
Yeah. So do you
But I
have
have some
a
cool
end date
characters.
involved or a release date or anything? Or
Yeah, I want it to be next year. I want it to be August 5th, 2025. Yeah,
oh, okay.
August 5th, because that was when I broke my shoulder. So I want it to be his revenge on my body. Like,
Right.
yeah, told you I'd be back.
Exactly.
It's
So you
revenge
let
on
us
my
know what you're
body.
doing. Yeah, right. Like that's the one right there. That's my revenge date.
Mm-hmm.
So
If
you said you were just up at the falls. Was it Little Mashal Falls? Is that where is that?
Yeah,
Yeah, and you broke your clavicle?
yeah,
Oh, I bet you that felt great.
man, that sucked. I was on the phone with my buddy, and there was a mistake. That was the mistake. That was those because like you down there, you're focusing on all these things right around
Yeah,
you, the sounds, the hearing everything, and you're looking. I'm looking at crossing a river, and the river is not up high at all. It's about a
yeah,
foot deep, maybe if that. I just don't want my shoes wet
yeah,
because I don't want to have to go on the rocks with my shoes like that. So I was trying to avoid getting wet. I could have just walked through the water. I should have just did
yeah,
that. But I was trying to avoid getting wet, and I was talking to him on the phone, focused on what we were talking about, and I missed my footing. And when I went down, I couldn't really protect my right side, and so I could only protect my. I was just trying to protect my face or whatever, quick.
yeah.
So I ended up hitting my head on the one of the rocks, and my phone went in the river, and I was like, "Dang it!" I was all looking around for my phone, grabbed it out of the water. I was like, "Hey man, let me hit you back. Let me
You
give you
said
a
you
call
hit your
back."
head. You said you hit your head on a rock.
I did. I did.
Oh
I
wow,
was so upset too. Yeah, that
You're
sucked.
lucky. You could have been unconscious in the water. That could have been real bad.
I know that sucked.
Yeah,
All from a slip. So I was mad after that, and I just sat down for a little bit over by the river, just looking around, just permeating. And because at first I didn't know if I broke my arm or not. I was unsure because I was like, I don't know if I broke it. Didn't feel like the last break.
yeah,
So I was unsure because it was like a bee sting. Boom, happened so quick. But then
yeah,
when I couldn't put my book bag on, I was like, it's all over then. Then I knew I broke it then.
yeah. Trying to put it on and all that. I can imagine trying to
Yeah, I
swing it
couldn't put
over
it.
and then just yeah.
Hmm.
That's yeah. Nuh-uh. I could just imagine. I would have been out there in tears. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I was mad. I
But
was
I think the
definitely
real
mad.
question that everyone wants to know though is, did your phone survive?
It did, but the back of it is cracked. um,
Mm.
but hey,
Right? Man, yeah.
people aren't
Well,
out there breaking bones. You ain't living.
yeah, exactly. For real.
I'm gonna try not to break any more bones though, because gosh, what this is my second break on this arm in this last year.
Second.
But
Now,
mm-hmm,
no, now we're talking about now. You're talking about the one you want to get a tattoo on of a smiley face.
mm-hmm. Yeah, I want
Yeah.
to put a little
All right.
so I could run up on people in the woods. I want to put a
Right.
tattoo on my severed arm, so
Right.
because in the woods like or at dog parks or wherever people go, some people like want to bring up their dogs to you. They
Yeah.
think you like their dog like they like their dog, but
Yeah.
and so they will come up. I don't know if anyone's did that to you. They'll walk their dog up. You kind of look out of the corner of their eye, and they're stretching out that leash, seeing if you'll
Yeah.
take the bait. Like he's gonna ask, he's gonna want to
Right.
pet my precious. No, I don't.
Hello, my precious. Right.
Like
Yeah.
that's your baby.
So the
So
touch on
the
a
whole
brief
point,
thing. Yeah.
I
The
was
whole
gonna say, so
point.
the whole point was putting the
Yeah.
tattoo of
Yeah.
that on my arm, of the
Right.
smiley face, so I could run
Exactly.
up on people like it's my dog and be like, "Arr, arr, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. He's never done this before."
So
Go back
people.
and rub it on them. Oh, so sorry, so sorry.
So people probably don't understand what's so funny about this is so John a long time ago was in a bad car wreck and he ended up using a limb, and so he I don't know. I'll let
Oh,
John. You could tell.
can you
Yeah.
say that again? Because I
But
lost you, whatever you
so
said.
I was just telling people they probably don't understand what was so funny about putting a smiley face on what we're talking about is I was trying to say like a long time ago how you was in a bad wreck and you ended up using a limb. So I didn't know if you
Mhm.
want to just a quick brief thing about that so people understand what we're talking about.
Oh
But
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah. Um, what was it? 7 years? Six? I think it was 7 years ago or 6 years. Probably seven at this point. I was in a car accident. Um, died.
yeah,
Broke my all of. I broke a lot of bones actually. What was it? My ribs, collarbone, spine somewhere. My my right arm was still on, but it was almost. It looked like an alligator like mangled it. I remember looking at my arm. It looked like a beast tore it to shreds or something like that. Looked
oh, that's
awful.
crazy.
Hmm. And it was really swollen. So it would pull on my arm, on my shoulder, and my shoulder. There's no from shoulder down. I have a brachial plexus injury. So the nerve is severed. So I feel things, but I feel things differently. Like if I was to touch my shoulder somewhere, I got to find where I'm itching at. I can't. It doesn't feel like it's coming from the same place,
Oh, okay.
or or I'll randomly get stabs and stuff. Those are the ones sometimes for hours, or sometimes it's 5 minutes, sometimes it's just hours. My arm will get numb and stuff. But during also what I broke in my accident was my wrist, but I didn't know. They didn't know it was broke,
Oh, okay.
and they said so people would come by and they would just like wanted to see me.
Yeah.
So they would be squeezing on my wrist and then I'd make a face, they said, because that whole time they didn't know it was broke. And
Oh,
so
okay.
and that's my left wrist, but I woke up from being in a coma. I had died a few times. They had to revive me. I lost 14 units. They had to put 14 units of blood in
Wow,
me.
that's a lot.
And so at the time it sucked too because I was like going through a divorce. I was going through a divorce and all this crazy stuff was happening at the time. And so it was like,
It was just one bad thing after another. It sounds like.
yeah, it was just war, really. The
Yeah.
battle. It was a fight.
Yeah.
But the hospital felt like beauty, like heaven, but also it felt like hell because I don't know if I was like, because I hit my head at some point where my vision was double. I would see double.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was seeing. I didn't realize it for 3 days that I woke up, but I was seeing double, and so there, um, and then I would like I didn't know daytime from nighttime. I couldn't remember my name for some reason. It was the hardest thing for remember. They'd come in the room. Hey, John Tucker. So, can you tell me your name, date of birth, and we also want to know who's the president this year. And I couldn't tell her any of it. Like I couldn't. I'd be like,
Like, who are
I'd
you
be
talking
struggling.
to? Are you talking to me? Like,
And it was like crazy to me because I was like, man, it's like I'm in here, but I for
yeah.
some reason can't remember these things that are simple. They had to feed me, they had to turn me. The thing that sucked was because I couldn't move. I couldn't move my body or anything. I had to be fed. And so like when they returned me, like you couldn't breathe because my ribs were all broke. So I was like, I remember that was the worst thing ever, not being able to breathe. You're like,
Oh, I
turn
can
to the side,
imagine.
turn me back, please. Hurry, hurry, because they had to clean me.
Yeah.
It's funny. I went from, taking care of people a lot, nursing homes that I worked at and the hospital that I worked at, and go from that to being taken care of fully like that was because that was just interesting. Peeing on yourself, pooping on yourself, getting hot, get cold, have to throw up every 5 seconds because you're so nauseous you can't throw up anything because you can't eat. Then you
Oh,
have your surgeries. I had a whole different bunch of different surgeries in there, and every time they had to move me, I was just like, bleh, 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 hot and cold, and you can't take the covers off. To me, it was hell. That was hell to me, and to not be able to control my mind, especially like the nightmares that you couldn't tell day from reality. I mean, I'm one moment I'm on a river, like I'm looking around, I'm on a river, and I'm looking at the stars in the sky and stuff like that. Then all of a sudden, a door opens in the middle of the air, and it's the nurse coming in. Hey, John, got your Dilaudid? Ready to have your Dilaudid?
right.
You know, I don't know what
Yeah.
time it is. I don't know where I'm at. I don't know what's happening. I'm hearing stuff. I'm seeing things. I saw a nurse. I remember all my the things that I saw, the delusions that I saw. I remember all of them. They were nightmares to me.
Oh, I bet they
Hearing
were.
bones crunching in the background, monsters. Like it was
Yeah, right.
scary to me.
So you used to work in the medical field, and then you went from working in the medical field, taking care of people, to your situation where you had to be taken care of. Did it give you like a new view? I'm trying to figure out how to word this right. A new view of being like in a patient's role, because I can imagine taking care of people, you could feel a certain way for them and how they are for their health. But now you're
Yeah.
being taken care of. Do you now have a different view of patients and stuff, seeing that you end up reversing
Yeah, I
roles?
did. That's a good question because I did have a different view,
Yeah,
and it makes you. It's interesting. Like before anybody dies, the one thing they don't care about how many cars. They don't care about bank accounts. They don't care about anything. They just care about a warm body
yeah,
being there next to them, someone to be there. You
yeah.
know, and so. I was grateful I was definitely grateful for all the people that I had so much support. The support was overwhelming. The love and stuff, the things people did. I was like, dang, I didn't even know people like me like that. That's cool. But
Yeah, yeah, no, I know a lot of people were worried for you. So if you guys don't know, me and John went to school together and stuff. We grew up together for a long time, so we've known each other. So I know how people were feeling and reaching out to him and stuff, and everything that was kind of going on that time. And we're all glad that you pulled through, John. That was because that's a crazy ordeal, especially knowing that you died a couple times and stuff and had to revive you.
hmm
Uh, God definitely didn't want you to go. And obviously he still don't want you to go. You just hit your rock and fell in a river. Like, yeah, he still he wants you to finish that book is what it is. He wants to see it himself.
Yup.
For real. So that's
Yeah.
cool though. So let's so you just recently got into like hiking and the outdoors just a couple years ago. I remember
Hmm.
started seeing you on some trips with certain people out in the woods. I was like, wait, I didn't know John hiked, but you
Hmm.
were just getting involved into it. What got you into hiking?
Well, first I've hiked since I was like what 15, 16. Mount
Okay.
Rainier. Um, Even though my parents didn't do it, it was just something I just loved the outdoors. I was something I loved to do. So I started hiking then, but I didn't really hike that much. I wasn't really avid about it like I am now.
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Was back then it was just like you going every once in a while, like 6 months from now,
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
versus going from 5 to 7 days a week. You know, and it was like, well, the difference I feel like is because it feels like everything is a fight. Really, it's like a fight. Really, you know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to fight with for your body. You got to fight with your body. So that's why I was always saying online. I was just like, I'm looking for my giants. I'm not waiting for them to come to me. I'm looking for them.
Right.
I'm going to them. I'm looking for them. Because I think that my mentality is like I'm not interested in taking any days off. I'll take the days off I have to take off when it
Yeah.
comes to like working out in the gym, and I treat the outdoors as my gym. You know, where I get to do a lot of things, the same things some of the animals are doing.
Yeah.
You know, they got to go up and down those hills, and if once you go down, you got to go back up, no matter how you feel about it. You just have to. So that and then doing my workout in there, I wanted to get so acclimated in there. And so what mainly motivated me was just is pain, really, just pain.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pain.
Yeah, because I feel
Um,
like what was that packed forest out there in Eatonville where the Mashal Falls are at is like your
mhm,
second home. It seems like you're out there all the time and you're talking to me about how you're doing like squats and lunges and
mhm.
up the hills and all that. And you're wearing a backpack with weight in it too, it looks like.
Um, no, I don't have any like it does. I would say my backpack's probably less than 20 pounds. Only reason I know that now is because I put a 20-pound weight inside my bag. And when I tried to put that on when I was injured, I was just trying to see if I could do it, and
Right.
that was like heavy on my shoulder at that time. So I was like, oh man, I thought I had this much in there. But it was different. But it was
Okay.
different when I took it off. Um, but yeah, like it was mainly just like pain, the pain of my body and stuff like that always messing with me. I have a lot of
Right.
things on my body that are painful and stuff. Sometimes your wrist starts going out on you, messing around with you where it just hurts, or
Yeah.
agitated, or my thumb, because I can overuse my thumb easily because everything I have to grab, my thumb ends up being the brunt catching most of the weight. You know what I mean? So then I got to be careful. You still there? I don't see you online. We still connected, man?
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, I lost service there for it's
I
like,
was like, we still connected
yeah, right.
for here?
Exactly. Crazy. Uh but yeah, so
I
me and
don't.
you finally I think we linked up for our first hike not too long ago. What was it last summer? And we went to was that Oregon we went to? Silver Falls?
Hmm.
And this is the picture of
Yeah,
you
it
on
was.
that
Yep.
hike right there. Yeah. And I think it was with me, you, Robin, and James. And I got a
That's a cool picture. You gotta send me that one.
oh, this one right here. Yeah, no, this is a great picture of you right here. And that pack, I don't know what type pack that is on there, but I know it's like 100-liter pack. So I gave you the trail name of White Claw,
Yeah.
which, which you're like a White Claw vending machine that day. Like you had weight in there. We
Oh yeah. Yep.
yes. So yeah, one day, guys, we're out there. and John wanted to give us some water. And when he wanted to give us some water, he meant White Claw water. So I ended up calling him White Claw for his trail name. So it was kind of funny. But yeah, here's a picture I think of us for James, Robin, you, and me, which is not the best picture. You guys probably have a better picture somewhere of us
Oh,
for the
that's a cool
trail.
picture.
Yeah, but uh, that trail, I don't know. What'd you think of
That
this
was
trail? Did you like it?
fun. um, I think I thought it was beautiful. That trail would not be for me though. Like that's a beginner hiker thing, like
It
someone
really
that's a
was.
beginner, I believe. And you could just tell too because the amount of people that are there and the ages that are there,
Yeah,
the
no,
ages. You know what I mean? Like, wow, as you know, going to the other places where you're like more out in places like Mount Rainier or other Cascades and stuff, is just you're not gonna see certain things,
yeah,
certain people on the certain trails. It just won't.
yeah,
You
exactly.
taking a lonely road, but when you go on trails like that, which are super beautiful, it's just really everybody can do it. It's
Right.
simple enough for everybody to do it. And it's beautiful. So you're seeing old people, crippled people like
Right.
me. um, you're seeing little girls, little boys. I mean, everybody's able to do it, which is cool to see that, you know.
Right. Yeah, this
So that
trail,
thing's a
it was
beginner
like because
trail.
it was our first time hiking, and then James and Robin too. So I chose this one because I knew the waterfalls were amazing, like this one in this picture. Uh,
Hmm.
there's just way too many people on this trail. I
Yeah,
don't
there
consider it a
was a
hike. Yeah, just way too
lot.
many. Yeah, and which
That
I don't
was a
like doing
lot.
those at
Hmm.
all. Yeah, here's another good one
I
of one of the
remember you kept
waterfalls.
complaining about that too. You was like, this is uncomfortable."
Yeah, yeah, I won't go back to that trail again. Not at all. It's just too many people for me, and I just uh-uh. Not it. But it was great though, because like I said, it was our first hike together. There's a picture of you, James, and Robin under a tree. But yeah, there's
Yeah.
just too many people. I just won't go back. But it was our
Yeah.
very first hike and stuff. I thought it was great. And I know the funny thing is you're so outgoing, John, and have a great personality that everyone likes. Every time someone would pass us or come near us, you would link up with them and kind of leave us. And Robin made the comment of, what did he say? He goes, "John is like one of those little kids that if you don't keep an eye on him, he'll get kidnapped." It was a funny comment, and I think he made a comment with that. It was like guy and girl passes, and you just start walking with them and just talking to them. We were just laughing, like,
Yeah, it was funny.
yeah. So but
I
I thought that
enjoy
was a great first
myself.
hike. Yeah, I thought that was a great first hike for all of us as a group and all that.
Yeah,
Um,
it's perfect for that. For like, especially, I mean, I think you did what was perfect because you measured everybody's ability
yes,
before
exactly.
going and knowing what would be suitable for everybody. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm cool with the experience and all that. So I mean, it was a beautiful place. I think everybody should try going there. I mean,
Oh yeah,
it's
yeah. Silver.
nice.
Yeah, if anyone wants to know where this is at, it's actually Silver
Hmm.
Falls down in Oregon. It has like 10 waterfalls, 10 miles, a giant loop. Uh, Easy hike. Almost
Yeah,
consider it just like a nature walk, not even a hike.
it's like
But
a circle, right? Like a
yeah,
big
yeah,
circle.
yeah, pretty much. And all that. So after that, me and you actually Robin was supposed to link up with us on the snowshoeing hike that we did. This was last winter, and you were saying you really didn't like snow, so this was kind of new to you for snowshoeing.
Yup. Yup.
So, which was great. And did that day actually, we had a little bit of snow flurries coming through on us and stuff. It wasn't too sunny at all, but even though it was,
Hmm.
I want to say the temperature was 32, 34 degrees right there, but it seemed a lot warmer
Hmm.
when we were out there.
It
Um,
was what? It was like 30 degrees, right?
yeah, it was
Yeah, it was 30 degrees. Yeah.
it's
Something like
crazy
that.
how warm it was. Like,
I
Maybe it was
know.
maybe it
It
was the
did
hill
not feel like
climb.
30 degrees,
Yeah, not at all. Yeah, I was
which
like,
was
what
that
the?
was the weird thing about it, right? And then the snow was coming. At one point, the snow was almost like rain, but then it became like glitter. You
Yeah, I
know?
think I got this next picture. Yeah, here you go. Here's a little bit of snow coming down on you when you're. I think you were taking a selfie. I'm not for sure, but here. Uh, but yeah,
That was a lot of fun.
yeah, it was great. And I think we're standing at this
Yeah.
point about 10 feet of snow at this point is what we're standing on. But those the
Hmm.
snowshoes that we
I remember
had.
that bridge.
Oh, the bridge. Yep. Here's another picture of you. I got
Hmm.
up there. Uh,
Yeah,
I
that's
think that
cool.
this was on our this was on our way up too. So the first part, the whole incline part.
Hmm. It sucks because the pictures will never do it justice on what it looked like, right?
Yeah,
Like, and it doesn't, the feeling and the atmosphere and all that, it just doesn't give it justice when you're looking at it, even though it's beautiful, but it just won't give it justice. When we was up there and we saw the cloud, the light piercing through trying to pierce through the clouds, and it was like it created like a dome of light, of soft light
I
in
think
there.
kind of like this picture here. Nah, it doesn't have too much of it, but
Oh
you can see
yeah.
a little bit of the sun on the snow there. For the people on the audio part of the podcast, so I'm just showing pictures that will be up on the YouTube part, but it's just like an open field with a little hillside and trees poking out of snow. It's just great, like the way he's describing it.
Yeah, that feeling and that look right there, that was one of the best sights to look at, especially as a photographer when I was looking at everything. I would have loved to have a wide angle lens when I was right there. Like that would have been perfect um, for the shot. But especially the way the light came in there, super cool. And it was eerie. It wasn't that eerie. It felt a little eerie. Like the atmosphere was beautiful, but it felt eerie because you saw those storm clouds coming on the other side, and you were like, "I really, we're gonna have to call this," the
That's this
storm,
picture right here. So on the
which
left
was
side of the
good.
picture, you can see it.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
it
I am
was.
not trying to be up there in no storm, of all places. No. Mm-mm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, no, so that's funny that you bring that up. So we got up so far and I was like, okay, we got to turn around because I could see what's coming in and where our trail was heading to loop us back around.
Remember
And
that
I was
lake?
like, no way, we're not going to go through that, especially knowing that you're new to this type stuff, especially snowshoeing at this. So I was
Right.
like, let's turn around. But as we turned around, there was another snowshoer coming up who recognized you from Pack Forest where you're always at, you know, and
Yeah.
and
That was funny.
yeah, right.
That was some weird stuff. That was strange.
Yeah, she just started talking to you like I was like, "Whoa, who the hell?" And she just recognized you, but that was crazy.
How
But
do you?
I remember she decided to keep going, and then eventually she turned around. We saw her back at the car. She was like, "Yeah, I had to turn around and come back," because she was like, "It got really bad." I was like, "Smart," and I saw that coming,
Yeah.
you know?
That's why I was like, that was
Yeah.
a good call. Cause
Mhm.
I was just like in the moment, in the mode and everything. Like we just humped up those hills. Cause those are some pretty steep hills that we went up. Um, However, it was really cool learning about those shoes and what those ability that they have to help go up the hill. That made it like cake, really.
Right? Yeah,
That
so
made it
you
like cake.
you met you had to kinda go down because you left, the trekking pole down so far, so you ran back
That
down.
sucked.
Yeah, right?
That
But when you ran
sucked.
back down, though, what was really cool about that was you met the leader. There was another group that was coming up that I recognized that group, and they were doing an overnight trip, which I think I got some pictures of their tents up here coming up in a
Hmm.
minute. But, shout out to the, Pacific Northwest, hikers and backpackers. Um, you ended up meeting the leader of that group, and she showed you kinda like I think you called it 4 by 4 mode where you flip up the little bar.
Yeah. Yep. 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 She showed. She said. I think she was like, "Yeah, all you gotta do is click it down." And
Yeah,
so
and
that
and
was
that's
cool.
what she said.
Learning about that. That made it way better. But you
Yeah,
can't use that downhill.
Yeah, no, you take it off downhill for sure. Now, now, believe it or not, this was my first time using these
But it is
snowshoes, which
still
were the
so good.
MSR, and they were yeah, it was great using these ones.
Heck yeah, those were so good. You couldn't even slip. Like it just made it feel like you're just trekking through the snow and ice like it's nothing.
Right.
Because you already know the people that try to come with none of those snowshoes, you already see their footholds going all the way through the snow up to
Yeah,
their
you
hip.
some of them where you could tell it was definitely up to their crotch with some of those
Yeah.
post holdings that they did. Yeah, for real. Now, yeah,
And
here's some of their camp right there in this picture. I think I got a closer up view, maybe. Yeah, right there. That's the Pacific Northwest hikers and backpackers camp for the night.
hmm
Oh my goodness. And that was another. So this camp right here that we see in a distance, this was actually a group. I think if you remember right, they stopped and asked us which way to go because they were trying. Uh, they were pulling a
hmm
sled, weren't they? Like a sled full of gear,
hmm
which was crazy.
I know. They probably thought I was crazy. I'm all running through there, no shit.
Right? Yeah. Oh, hold on. Did we show that picture yet? Yeah. Here's part of it. You kind of shirtless, but I think
That
we
was
got a better.
funny.
Yeah. You just end up ripping
People
off
that
your
would
shirt
say
and
that.
going. I was like, "What in the world are you doing?" Like it is cold out here. Yeah.
Hmm.
John decided to like think he was a Chippendale and just start sitting down. It was
You know,
kind
the
of
funny
funny.
thing is, I had like when the season's out for hiking, pretty much for certain. A lot of people will go for hiking in the summertime. Most of the time, that's usually the aim. But um, I was like practicing in the cold weather,
Yeah.
and I would practice. I was trying to see what I could get away with, like with the clothes I wear, because like if you're if I go into the woods and people will look at me, they think I'm like some kind of ranger or something, and or all this. They have all these thoughts in their heads on what I am or whatever, and really everything that I have on me is tailored to everything that I know that I need for me
Yeah.
person. So it's like that every hiker is gonna has to have will figure out that thing. You'll know every time you go hiking and you come into a situation or a moment where you're like, oh man, I wish I would have had this. I wish I would have had that. I wish I didn't, I brought this. And then you just start building on to what you know that you need to bring. And the end result is I look prepared when people see me in the woods. They're thinking to themselves, "Oh, did we become prepared? Are we about to go on a long journey that you didn't tell us about, honey?
Yeah. Right.
What we just brought? We didn't even bring a book bag."
Book bag.
I've said there's a lot of times had to help people across the bridge because people get so petrified over the bridge. Just lovers that came through there. I'm walking. I see this. There's this lesbian couple. She's one girl is like way she already crossed the bridge, okay? They're on their way home. She crossed the railroad bridge just over all the water. And it's pretty high up. I would say that's probably about 200 feet. Um that's enough to kill you. You fall, but you're on railroad ties, and the girl was all the way at the end already, but her lover was halfway, and she just stood there. She was frightened. She's frozen.
And this is
And
out in Pack Forest.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
she's frozen. And she's like, I didn't know what she was doing. I'm just walking across it to go back to my car to leave. My hike is done. So I'm going there, and I'm getting up to the girl, and I'm just like, I better ask her. Like, I have a feeling she's just trapped. So just took off my headphones. There's modes when I get in. A lot of times I'm talking to people, but there's a lot of modes where I don't want to talk to nobody when I go down there. But
Right.
I see them, and she seemed like she just is stuck. So I'm like, hey, if you take my hand, because I talked to her, I went up there. I was like, how you doing? And she goes, well, I'm kind of stuck because there's these two broken up railroad ties, people get scared every time they see them. They get scared. They freeze right there,
I wonder
and
why.
there's a fear there because they're broken up, but they're not broken.
Oh,
Broken. You know what I
oh,
mean? They're
okay.
not gonna fall through there,
Yeah.
but they believe it. When they get to this point, I've walked probably 7, 8 people across this holding their hand, strangers that I don't know, because they get in fear over that bridge. And I just, just told her, well, do this. Take my hand and count your steps and we'll walk, just count your steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, count your steps. And then they start focusing on that and then they do it and then they're over it. But everybody, one thing I learned is everybody wants a hand to hold on to.
Yeah. It's like
They want a
sense of
hand.
safety or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like when you're a
Like,
little kid,
like
you
you're
want your blankie.
attached. Yeah, like you got me,
Yeah.
and so multiple people, but they were just in fear. I get it. That kind of fear can kill you though, too, also.
Oh yeah.
That kind of fear can kill you. You go into some hike somewhere and you have this fear in you and you're in a dangerous spot, something sketchy or whatever, and you got to cross it and
Yeah.
you're in fear like that. That fear will kill you because then your knees start shaking like you have no control over your body or something, like I've seen people do that. Just
Yeah.
obliterates them.
No, it
But
really does. It really, really. Also, fear can help you in certain situations, but more of the confidence is what's going to save you because you feel like you
yeah,
get through it. Yeah, that's for sure.
yeah,
Yeah, that.
definitely. And then just being prepared, like people will see this big old knife on my side, the 22-inch Bowie knife, which is legal to carry. It has to be present though on you. You can't put it in a bag. Are
I
you
can't
there?
be considered.
Oh, yeah, like yeah, it has to be on you. Like you can't just like a gun. You can't put it in a bag. And I find it makes for some reason knives make people uncomfortable, but
Especially
they're
out in the
not.
forest.
It's so they're not really thinking about it like I'm thinking about it because I'm thinking about situations that I've encountered where I'm like, and I didn't have anything with me. I need to
Right.
start thinking this through. Could I you should bring a gun. You bring yours, you know what I mean? Like everybody should go out in the woods with a weapon. You should. It's not wise to go out in the woods with no weapon. Just not wise. If you're spending a lot of time in the woods and going to hikes and trails and stuff like that, not to scare people, it's just smart to do it. You
Well,
know?
yeah, no, there's another podcast out there. I wish I could remember the name of it. It's like I want to say Trail Stories I can't remember, but they talk about all the different murders and stuff on these trails, and there's some where they've caught serial killers out on the long trail. Um, I'll have to look it up again and I'll share it with you. But yeah, there's several ones out there where there's a lot of murder. Like they found these two females in their backpacks in the tent, like
Oh,
completely chopped up. You know,
what?
yeah. There's believe it or not, it's out there. It's really crazy out in certain parts of you know on these trails, and you really need to be careful. It's yeah. I'll have to find this link for you. There's another one
Yeah.
where this guy took his younger brother out. I think his brother was like like in his teens.
Uh-huh.
And the older guy, he used to be in the military. He was like special forces and stuff, but something made him feel uneasy and he woke his brother up, told him to be really quiet, and they left their camp and went and hid in the bushes and stuff. And believe it or not, a group of people came with guns looking for them and stuff. And uh luckily they were able to get out of there. Did I lose connection?
Dang.
Yeah, it was crazy. I'll have to find these links and send them to you. But yeah, no, there's some crazy stuff out there. So like you're saying, there's certain
I've seen
situations when
interesting
you're by yourself.
things.
Yeah, when you're by
Interesting
yourself, there's
things.
most definitely. Yeah,
Yeah, so when people see me in there,
yeah,
this for them, this is like them just coming, going somewhere, and this is like something they're doing once, um, every year or twice every year or something like that.
yeah.
So they're coming in there. They're not prepared for anything really, and I don't think that way. Just based on my experience, and like I said, being by yourself. If you're by yourself a lot in the woods, you have to get smart about it. You know,
Yeah,
you could roll your ankle. You know, something could happen to you. You got to think about that. You have to think about the people that come into the woods. There's cool communities of people. I've met a lot of awesome, amazing people in the woods. Met people inviting me to their houses and stuff when they have kids. I'd be like,
that's
what?
crazy. Never met you before, and they're inviting you over. Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's some strange.
Yeah,
That's some weird stuff, But one situation I came across when I came down, and this was I didn't have a weapon at all. Just got out of my car. I hiked down through the woods a little bit. It's like 5 minute hike down, and you're on the railroad trail. And so that railroad, there's a left and a right. All I could hear was screaming of someone. Someone was screaming. And it didn't sound like people partying like you would hear someone having a good time.
yeah.
It sounded like someone in horror. And I hear it to the right. I'm supposed to go to the left. So I hear it on the right, and I'm like, I gotta see what this is because I can't turn away from this. Because couldn't in good conscience turn away from that. So I took a right. Going around the corner, I see a girl laying on the railroad tracks, just straight on the railroad tracks, her face down, and this guy standing over her, this white dude. He's just standing over her, and he's looking at her, and she all of a sudden pops up, goes, "Mother F you, Mother F you," and she looked at me and paused for a second. And then she said, "You can F him and he can F you." And I'm looking at this lady. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. And then I see a guy running up with the backpack, another guy running up the backpack. And there's also two girls coming from this, all of them come from the same direction. I don't know who knows who. I was thinking, am I in some
Crazy,
type of trafficking situation where they're just
right?
trying to kidnap this young woman who looks like she's like 30? She looked like she's 30. She looks like she's taken care of. She looks like she takes care of herself. She don't look like she's homeless, or she don't look like she does drugs or anything like that. She don't look like that at all, other than her hair being crazy. So I'm like assessing the situation, thinking, what's going to happen next? And as these two girls are going by, I'm like, hey, they're trying to stay away from the girl. They're all the way to the edge, trying to get past. And I was like, do you guys, know these people? And they're like, no, no. So they're shaking their head no. I'm like, okay. So I stand there for a second because I'm like, should I leave? Should I walk away from this place? Because or do these people know each other? Should I involve myself in this? What should I be doing right now? And so,
Right, yeah, because you're out in the middle of the woods and
yeah,
that's
I'm trying to
crazy.
figure out. I don't
Yeah,
want to leave this person. I also don't want to be involved in whatever crazy stuff they're doing either. If this is a relationship thing, you know what I mean? So I didn't know what was what. So for me, when those girls went by, the guy looked at me and goes, he was like, I found her like this. I know this looks weird, but I found her like this. She was screaming, and now I was trying to help her, but she was screaming at us. So I'm like, okay. So I'm standing there, I don't have any weapons on me. And I'm thinking to myself, if I have to fight these guys, I will.
right. Yeah,
This is what it is. With one arm, I don't care. I'll kick. I'll do whatever. I'm more energy than both of them. I already know that. So that's what I'm thinking in my head. And so, but I don't know these dudes, right? And so like I start walking away. After he said that, I'm thinking maybe, maybe there's some truth to what he's saying. But the other guy comes running up, and he throws the book back down. And when she was like cussing at him, because she just popped up, and all of a sudden just start cussing at that dude, he was like, "Man, F this B, Curtis. Let's
that's
go." And I thought, Well, this can't be trafficking if he's dumb enough to say the name of his
Right.
crimey or whatever. So I
Yeah.
thought at the time I was like, this can't be that. I don't know. So I'm walking. As I'm walking, the guy's still there. It seems like he looks on his face like he cares. Like he looks like he actually is trying to help her. So that was the impression I left with that dude. But when I walked around the corner and I was talking to those girls, and I was just like, you know what, guys? I would feel awful if this all of a sudden was on the news tomorrow and there was something I could have done. So I don't feel comfortable with that. So they
Right.
left. I went back. And as I'm going back, I was only like maybe 3, 4, 5 minutes away, something like that. So I start walking back. I didn't even cross the railroad yet. I start walking back I look and I see nothing. Nobody's there. Just a book bag in the middle of the railroad. And I'm thinking, uh-oh. I'm thinking like, oh, what do I gotta check. I gotta check. Is something, they take this lady or is she around here falls? And what I knew is there was 2 hours before sunset. So
Yeah.
if she's stumbling around in the woods at night like that, she's just dead pretty much. She wouldn't survive. So I went back, and after seeing that book bag, and I'm calling, hey, is anybody here? Is anybody out there? You know, can anybody hear me? Are you okay? Hello. I'm screaming it out, and I don't see anybody. So I'm like, damn, did they take this lady? Did they take this woman? So I look should I touch this bag? So I called up Caitlin. I was like, hey, this is the situation. I don't know what I should do for this. I don't know if I should touch this book bag. I don't want to be involved in this. I don't know if I have to report this. If it's gonna make me look like if something happened to this girl. If I'm now being the suspect, I don't know what I should do. But you know what? I took the book bag anyway. I opened up the book bag and I looked at it. And I'm now looking at a license. I'm looking at credit cards. I'm looking at car keys. And now I'm thinking really. And I'm touching evidence all over this bag. I'm touching all over this bag. And so I started walking. I get a call. I know I didn't get a call, but there was a phone started ringing. Because I just decided to take the bag and I was going to put it in my car and I was going to try to figure out who she belongs to, who's her family, and call these people. So as I was going and put the book bag in my car, I heard a phone ring and it was from the book bag. And I was like, oh, I thought I checked everything in here. It didn't look like there was no drugs or anything, like one little shot bottle. Like there was nothing to make that girl act like that. So I didn't know if she was like drugged or if they did something to her. But all of a sudden I get this call from the phone. I picked it up and I was like, hey, I'm not the owner of the phone. This is how I found it. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like going through the spiel and saying how I have it. And the guy's like, it's her boyfriend.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, he starts heading towards where he knew that she went, which was this park. And he's calling, and he was calling her, and I guess they were having issues or whatever. So what she ended up doing was just getting tipsy.
Yeah.
And coming out here by herself. Getting tipsy like that. For one, that's crazy getting that tipsy out there like that. Where you're stumbling and stuff like that by yourself in the woods. I don't know. I ain't trying to put any shame on that girl. I'm just saying like that's dangerous way to go out. And so I'm thinking of time. I told him, I said, dude, I was talking to her boyfriend on the phone, and I was just like, hey, I have this, I have her stuff. I'm holding it. He was grateful. He was like, hey, I'm so grateful. I want to compensate you. I was like, no, heck no. I was like, I'm just glad that you're coming to get it and reach somebody. And then as I'm talking to him, I told him the location of where we were, and I was like, dude, we have 2 hours to find her. Like, you can call the police and stuff like that and go ahead and do that, but we still only got 2 hours to find her. In the dark, it will get dark. After that, lights out, pitch black.
Yeah, right.
So hypothermia, and he
Do you have a
blows up.
wire in your phone for your headset?
Uh-uh.
No.
Is it
We're getting a lot of
disconnected?
static. No, we're getting a lot of static.
Oh man, no. Mm-mm.
But yeah, that's a crazy story. That's that's nuts to be out in the middle of the woods like that too.
Yeah. Are you still hearing the static?
Yeah, I don't know where it's coming from. It's crazy. I
Dang.
tried doing a bunch of stuff
Yeah.
and trying to figure it, I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
It just
Everything
started
sounds
coming not too
fuzz.
long ago. But
But yeah, did
yep.
that dude end up rolling up? And he found her. She was right before he got to me for me to give him this stuff. And he's a super nice guy. He was just so great. He was like, man, I feel like he was just a really nice guy. He's her boyfriend. He came rolling up. He's trying to um, get her stuff and help her out. He's grateful that someone called, for her
Yeah.
stuff, and so that was cool. That he cared like that. You could tell he cared. Because at the time, I told him, I said, honestly, man, I don't even trust you. I don't even know you. When I was on the phone with him, I was like, I honestly don't even know you.
Oh,
So
that's crazy.
he FaceTimed me and everything. Yeah, because I was like, I don't know who you are.
Huh.
But he rolled up and he came in and gave me some gap, and then he put $100 in my pocket,
$100?
and he wouldn't let back. I didn't feel right about that, like
Yeah.
that was nice that he wanted to do that, but I don't think that you should get rewarded for something like that,
Right.
you know.
So,
And so him doing that was cool. That I don't know. I also have a hard time with accepting people's heartfelt gifts and stuff. Um, I try to accept them more. I would say that.
yeah.
Yeah, just
Like, nope. I just wanted to make sure she was safe.
yeah. I want to
Yeah.
make sure it's safe, but I get that you have it in your heart. Your heart's pouring out that you want to do something about it, and I don't want to reject that. At the same time, I don't feel right about doing that. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
you don't reject somebody's love that they're trying to give you, whether it's an item or something. So, but I didn't feel right about that. But he wouldn't accept it back. And you know what? He was like, hey, I saw her on the way up. She was braless. She had no shirt on, and she was cussing out the cops. And he says there's 7 cop cars around her, and so that's what he seen before he even got to me, because I was like 2 minutes away from that, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So they did find her, and honestly, I don't even care. She could be talking how she wanted to be or whatever she was doing. I'm just glad they found her, and that this wasn't gonna be some crazy story of this lady being murdered or something, or trafficked or never found again. You know,
Right. Yeah.
so that's what I thought it was gonna be like, and I was like, no. After that, purchased knives. Started.
Start carrying your knife on you. Right?
Yep. Yep.
Safety. So,
Because if I carry a small knife, look, I got one arm. What am I going to do with that? I need the point to be further away from whatever the target is, whatever the
right.
threat is, you know?
Yeah.
So 22-inch knife is cool um, to protect yourself. You
Yeah.
can get spray and stuff too, but can you really rely on, I think of, can you really rely on the can? you know? What's your
Yeah.
backup? I mean,
Right.
obviously, I would rather have a gun if I can use one with one arm. I don't know that game.
Yeah. All right, John. Well, we end up ending this. Can you hear me? Looks like we just lost connection.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, we're gonna end up ending this. I know you said you got to get to the gym and stuff, and I don't know where the static just instantly started hitting from. It's crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah, it sounds
uh,
fine on my end. Like, I hear you perfectly.
all right. Yeah. No, I'm picking up a lot, and I'm trying everything now. figure out what's going
Dang.
on. I can't figure out. But I appreciate you coming on. I really like this interview with you and stuff. And this is actually
Yeah.
great. You know, you're really my first real interview and stuff. I'm hoping one day I'll be able to find a co-host and make this thing work. And I'm trying this new program out and stuff. It seems like it's working great. And there goes the
Yeah.
static. Of course, the static's leaving now. Go figure. Right?
It's
Uh,
done. I'm
yeah.
I'm wondering if I turned off my heat or my fan or something. I don't know. And
Yeah,
it's
I
not
don't know.
on me, but
Yeah. But yeah, no, this was great though. It was awesome. Got to learn about you and stuff. And anything, do you have any socials or anything you need to plug or anything? Like, I know you're a photographer and stuff, but maybe people could hire you for photography or
oh
anything like that.
yeah. I mean, I usually don't even really advertise my. I
Oh, okay,
rarely
okay,
advertise at my photography, but I'm I usually just go straight off of word of mouth, and usually I've gotten pretty consistent clientele from that, from just word of
okay.
mouth. You know, people will throw out because once you take one picture, right, there people are gonna put it out if they like it, and then other people will hit you up and stuff. So I do have John Tucker 3 photography. That's my Instagram, and so I have pictures on there. I have a lot of pictures that I haven't put on there either. So I don't. I'm not like how a lot of photographers they post everything that they put out. I don't do it. I don't do that. I don't need to do that. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
should I? I should do that. You know, to advertise more, but I don't.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, we
but
definitely need you out there on trail more. We'll start getting you into some nature photography for sure.
yeah. I need to get a wide angle lens. Um, yep, I just need a wide angle lens. 'Cause that's what I'm really hit for is a wide angle.
Cool. All
I
right,
was
John. Well,
showing
appreciate you
my
coming on
team.
and stuff. And I think you have an
Yeah.
applause here for right. I appreciate you. We'll definitely have to link up on a hike. I know this winter,
Yeah. Yeah.
snowshoeing again. Love to get you back
Definitely.
out there. I
Oh, you
know
got it,
I'm
man.
going on a
Yeah.
hike tomorrow, so I'm going to leave about 4:30 in the morning. So I got to start getting my stuff packed up here too. You're right.
Dang.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be like 27 degrees. I saw, so it's going to be a cold one for me.
Ooh, yeah,
I should
that
be
is
able.
cold.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right, John. Well, appreciate you coming
That's
on.
cool.
We'll definitely have to link
Yeah,
up
bro.
another time. And
Yeah, we'll do more because I definitely want to talk about more
yeah, we can
stuff.
do that. And I'll probably be able to get some other people on here and stuff for sure. Maybe we do a group one. So I could get up to like 10 people on this program. It says all in one box. We can have a big
Mm-hmm.
conversation.
Because I mean, I got a lot of hiking stories, really. I mean,
Yeah,
a
no, I
lot
love to.
of hiking stories.
Yeah, no, I definitely love to hear them. Talk to you more and stuff too, for sure. So,
But yeah. All right, brother.
all right,
Talk
then.
to you
No,
later,
I'll talk
man.
to. All right, thank you
All right,
again.
later.
Oh, bye.
Yes, sir.